On this episode of the Reckless Wrench Garage, we're going down south and taking both rigs on their first off-roading trip since they've been built. We're going to be spending the next few days at the Chile Challenge annual off-highway vehicle event. This is day 1, and we're going to be going on the Lost Boys Trail. It is a hard difficulty rating, and we really don't know what to expect because we've never been down here before.
At the start of the day, we head to the respective staging area for the trail we're going on, meet up with the group, and head out. Lost Boys is one of the farthest trails away from the campsite, so you get to enjoy the scenery, the rest of the sunrise, and the smell of chilies on your way to the trailhead. Instead of going straight to Lost Boys, our trail leader decided we were going to start off with a trail called Scratch. It's supposed to be just a quick, moderate trail to get us warmed up.
You never intend on braking, but you gotta always expect something bad's gonna happen. The Ranger was the first victim of the day, as we stalled it, and then it wouldn't start up again. We didn't really ever figure out what went on with it, but we were able to get it pull started and back up on the trail. Victim number 2 for the day was a tie rod on the front end of this Jeep. He smashed into a rock and pretzeled it up pretty good. The great thing about wheeling in a group is you have an audience to laugh at you when you're trying to fix your parts. Or a few extra hands can help get things straightened out. We ended up pulling the tie rod, bending it back, sleeving it with a jack handle, reinstalled it on the Jeep, and he wheeled it for the rest of the day with no issues.
Stop!
The Lost Boys trail wasn't really difficult. but the rocks were just big enough to cause potential for some damage in certain situations. Driving by Braille happens to be one of those situations.
And we're gonna have to put videos up.
Yeah, we already used them up.
No, you needed me there, so I got someplace to land.
Oh, look at that. The obstacle at the end of Lost Boys, the waterfall. Oh yeah, that's a good sized wall. Oh yeah. I think he's on it right now. Oh.
Just when we think we're at the end of the trail, step on a rock wrong, and there goes the sidewall. I didn't have a spare tire, so the plan was to drive out to the road, bring the trailer, pick up the Suburban, go from there. Luckily, somebody was nice enough to let me borrow their tire, so I drove out about a quarter mile to a nice clearing where we could change the tire out.
Have a good one. We got the tires swapped out and headed back to camp. We went on miles and miles of long, dusty roads that never seemed to end. Well, I think we're finally off the trail. I don't think I've ever been filthier in my life, but oh. Well, as you guys just saw, that was the Lost Boys trail, and the trail called Scratch was the very first thing we ran.
My bad.
We are totally covered in dust. It is disgusting. So sit rep. Suburban's broke, as you guys saw.
No surprise.
Tires blown out. We're sitting on a 40 right now, which does look pretty badass.
And I don't consider that broken, per se.
Tire shredded, the original one. And now the Suburban is running very poorly. We don't know why. We thought we had that fixed before we headed down here, but it has returned.
Yep. So there's a Suburban for sale. You know what's done to it. Send us a message.
We were only supposed to run the trail Lost Boys. The trail guides, for whatever reason, took us on a precursor trail called Scratch, which wasn't supposed to take us very long, but it seemed like everyone was trying to drive so fast through it, 2 other people actually broke on that trail before we even got to the trail we were supposed to be running. That was problem number 1. Number 2, then when we were on Lost Boys, we were trying to maintain a high pace because we wasted so much time on Scratch. We did do the Waterfall, which was awesome. Both of us liked that a lot. The trail overall itself, just a lot of medium-sized boulders. Big enough that you can't go fast, but small enough that you're not crawling and doing technical rock crawling for most of it. Is very annoying.
And sharp enough to cut your tire.
Yeah.
And big enough to bend your tie rod.
Takeaways from Chile Challenge Day 1. Number 1, always go out with a group. If anything was reiterated today, it is don't ever go out 4-wheeling alone. Number 2, go prepared. We had all the tools and everything necessary to, we changed a tire, fixed 2 bent tie rods, someone had a steering issue, another one, we didn't even get to that part because they were way ahead of us, but there was a lot of issues today and everyone got off the trail. We even drove back to camp, so
yeah.
Go with a friend and go prepared.
And have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, all things considered, I still had a blast. I mean, yeah, now I got to figure out what's wrong with the Suburban. And we can't leave out that your check engine light came on, Sarge.
Yeah.
And you were the first one
Yes.
to be broken.
Yep. We still haven't figured out the starter issue on the Ranger, so we still have that going for us. Oh, I forgot to totally mention this. If you ever come and wheel the Chile Challenge or any of these trails down here near Las Cruces, don't care about your paint.
Oh, man.
I probably have 1 million scratches and I don't even know how many dents on my undercarriage. Like, if you care about your paint, don't come here.
Or at least don't do Lost Boys.
Yeah, don't do the hard trails. Neither of us really care about our paint, but There were some pretty
No.
nice rigs out there today, and I'm like,
I was a little
Damn.
upset my paint got scratched, Sarge. No, you know, we did that shakedown run. That was the first time the Suburban was really out. And this is the first in-depth trail that I've went on. And those windows that I made for the back after bobbing it, yeah. Can't really see out of them anymore.
Yep.
It's pretty bad.
more Chile challenge coming later. We have a lot more to do here.
Yep.
So stay tuned.
And a lot more filming now
Yep.
that I'm broken. Because that's what happens when I go four-wheeling. I break and I become a cameraman.
The sun's come down and the lights have come on. We gotta cook dinner and clean up.
Gotta return the spare tire to the lady that let me borrow it.
And then we're gonna retire to our tents for the night and hopefully not freeze.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Until next time.
stay reckless.